Hey YouTube, welcome to another Friday Pixel and Thoughts session. We're gonna do this penguin today, and we're gonna talk about decision paralysis and how I have a really hard time deciding things when it comes to my career and also my content creation options. So, being a full time content creator is essentially what I've kind of leaned into since I've been struggling to find a new job for about 6 months now. And these Pixel Thoughts sessions are nice, but I don't know how great they are at generating, views and things like that. I mean, it's really nice for me to do them, and I like sharing my thoughts kind of off the cuff while also providing some visual stimulation via these images that I'm coloring. But I know people prefer for certain content to be, I guess, presented, with a face on it, right? And part of the reason why I have not showed my face is because I don't want my face to become a face of a thing. And also, I don't know if I do have a thick skin in a sense that, like, after being bullied aggressively for most of my school-aged life, there's almost nothing anyone can say about me visually that I haven't either heard before or said internally to myself. But I just feel like I want to do things or present my ideas without having to worry about the visual element. What I really need is like a avatar of some kind, but those things are expensive, and the startup cost of getting an avatar made and all of that investment is just something I don't have right now. I'm still just surviving off of unemployment and, whatever money I can scrape up, either freelancing or, in this case, I'm getting a pretty sizable tax return because I was unemployed for most of last year. And yeah, again, I would probably have decision paralysis about even just creating a visual version of myself that people can look at while they consume the thoughts that I would like to present. And that's part of the reason why, even though I have started the draft for a longer essay about the American disability system, I'm still just kind of like, I don't know what to do visually for that, though. I think the reason why I have such decision paralysis around visuals too is because I know how much they play a role in how much someone enjoys content. While I've seen plenty of streamers make it without showing their face, I think the exponentially bigger streamers do show their face, and that they're like visual reactions to things it becomes a part of what people enjoy. So, there's pressure there. And again, I just become stuck in this like loop of like, should I not? What should I do? This brings me back to something a famous YouTuber said, and I won't say who it is because I don't want to get into the politics of that streamer, but he was right when he said that people who are poor or people who don't come from money, every decision that they make has way more stakes than if you have a lot of money. You get to make a lot more mistakes when you have a lot of money because, there's not you have like a safety net, something to always kind of fall back on. And I don't really have that. I've never really had that. So every decision I've made, even in college, I feel has had this added pressure of like, you have to make it. You have to make the correct decision here or your life is over. And it's a lot of pressure. I know I put a lot of pressure on myself, but it's also just true. Like, the fact of the matter is I don't have a huge, like, social safety net to rely on when it comes to money, at least. But that's what I think is at the heart of all of my decision paralysis, is the fear of failure. And, people constantly say you can't be afraid to fail if you are trying new things, because part of the process of trying new things is failing. And I'm just like, girl, I don't have time to fail. I don't have time. I don't have money. I have to win. Like, this has to be the right thing. And this is why I've never been a very impulsive person, because I'm constantly thinking about how we don't have the option of failure, or I don't have the option of failure. And then I think about somebody like my sister who just like, is just like, I'll fail and I'll just figure it out. And I just don't have the wherewithal to be like that. Though maybe sometimes I should be. Like, I do see the value of not having constant feedback check-in about whether or not something can possibly lead to a path of success, right? Like, sometimes the art should exist for art's sake, or sometimes the content should exist for content's sake. There is so much content out there on the internet, and there are so many things that people enjoy, from the weird, and I say weird because I admit that I am also weird and that I enjoy this content of, like, cleaning videos and carpet cleaning and pimple popping and pedicures and nails. And then there's house hunting and house building. There's The Sims. There is Animal Crossing. There's every game you could possibly think of. There is a content creator making content for that game. There is daily vlogs. There's this. Do I know that people like this? Maybe they do, maybe they don't, but here it is, and I hope you enjoy it. It's just, again, it just goes, I feel the decision paralysis creep in because I just don't have the capacity that other people do to just fail upward. And I know part of that too has to do with the system that I exist in. I am a Black woman in America. I don't, have generational wealth that was built over decades to fall back on. And also, I'm a millennial, which means that even if there was generational wealth, it could have been wiped out in a second. Capitalism sucks. I'm just trying to survive now. I think I gave up on the whole rich and famous thing when I realized how soulless you kind of have to become to be rich and famous. I recently read a book called I Survived Capitalism, and all I got was this crappy t-shirt by a TikTok creator, no less. But it's actually a pretty good book. And she makes a lot of really great points about how the system requires you to lose a lot of integrity, and integrity and morality are the biggest driving forces in my behavior. I even wrote an essay not too long ago about how my morality is killing my ability to thrive in capitalism, because as soon as something requires a degree of exploitation, I'm just like, I don't want to get involved in that. I don't want to, subject other people to exploitation. Like, I remember Someone once told me, with regards to like the whole making of an avatar thing, to find somebody who is an up and comer and see if they'll do like a kind of pro bono thing for me, you know, for exposure or whatever. And even that still feels a little bit like exploitation. Like, I hate having my talented friends do me a favor. Like, I want to pay them because all labor deserves to be paid, you know? Like, if somebody offered to edit for free, I would still feel like I should pay them something because it's labor and we're in capitalism and labor means something, and you shouldn't have to do free work, you know? Granted, I'm also part of the problem there because if somebody asks me to read their work for free, I tend to be like, yeah, because of course you can't afford to pay me. Nobody can afford to pay each other, and we should all be paying each other. It is the worst kind of paradox of capitalism just running amok. And now you see why I have decision paralysis. When I first learned about decision paralysis in social psychology, they use this example of like, people have a harder time making decisions the more options there are, and the sort of experiment environment they discovered this is like, they asked the study participants to choose between 5 jams and then like 18 jams, and people who had the 18 option were more likely to just not choose anything than the people who were only presented 5. And so that too is playing a role in content creation, right? Because I have all these options, right? I have a bunch of video games I like that I could make content about. I have endless DVD content that I could, you know, put over here. And then there is like fighting the YouTube algorithm, and that plays a role as well. And then there is these kinds of content, and then there's like the video essays I've always wanted to make. And when I list all of these things, it just feels like I'm throwing spaghetti at a wall, because at the end of the day, I need to make money, and I hate it. I hate it so much. Where is the universal income, y'all? Where is it? I need to escape capitalism. I need to get out. But unfortunately, there is no escape. Things look pretty doomed when it comes to the United States this year. It's an election year, but you know, at least there is a penguin. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed this content. If you did, like and subscribe, please, and share with your friends, and you know, help me build this, you know, crazy chaotic thing together. I'd really appreciate it. And I'll see you guys in the next one.